Now it is the continuation of the previous lecture. In previous lecture, what we have studied? In our previous lecture, we have studied about the preparation of sulfuric acid and the importance of the sulfuric acid in a daily life. Okay. Now, in the last topic of that lecture was structure of the sulfuric acid. Okay. So just for the revision sake, and again, I am explaining the structure of sulfuric acid in a points wise. Okay. Now, sulfuric acid contains total 6 bonds. In sulfuric acid, sulfur forms how many bonds? 6 bonds. Okay. Out of the 6 bonds, 2 are pi bonds and 4 are sigma bonds. Okay. And most important for the entrance point of view, type of pi bonds. Okay. The neglected area is they learn only hybridization, they learn only structure. They count the number of sigma and pi bond, and they forget about the type of pi bond. Okay. So this there is another video. If not there, I will upload it up on whenever it is possible about the how to find out type of pi bonds. Okay. So whenever you feel anything, any hard topic, any tough topic you feel, you can write it to me in the comment box. Okay. So p pi d pi. Here the type of pi bond is p pi d pi. There are 2 pi bonds and both of them are p pi d pi bonds. Okay. P pi means p orbital. For pi bond, there should be 2 orbital involved. Okay. From the oxygen, it is p orbital. From the sulfur, it is d orbital. Okay. From the oxygen, it is provided p orbital, and from the sulfur, it is d orbital provided. Okay. P pi d pi. What is the hybridization? Sorry, pi bond type p pi d pi. Here I written d pi p pi. Why I have written like that? That is because sulfur is providing d orbital and oxygen is providing p orbital. Okay. So the type of pi bonds available in sulfuric acid are two quantity, but types are only one. They are p pi and d pi. Okay. Now because of this 4 sigma bonds and no lone pair. Okay. So sulfur undergoes which hybridization? sp3 hybridization. Which hybridization it is going to undergo? sp3 hybridization. Okay. Okay, so this is sp3 hybridization and structure according to the sp3 hybridization with no lone pair. sp3 hybridization also contains different variety of structures. What are those? They can be tetrahedral, it can be pyramidal, it can be bent shape depending on the number of bond pair and lone pair. There are no bond pair, there are no lone pair, that's why it is tetrahedral. Okay. Now, due to the presence of, this is most important. Okay. So there is a link up question of the chemical bonding and P block, 16th group, that is, it can form how many pi bonds? Hydrogen bonds, see, 4 oxygens are there and 2 hydrogens are also eligible. Because of the more number of oxygen, because of the more number of hydrogen eligible for hydrogen bond formation, it is more viscous. Okay, and less volatile. Why this property indirectly they are asking in especially tough exams like AIMS, tough exams like IIT Advanced. Okay, so in this indirectly how it is useful, I am going to tell you in the when topic is arises. Okay, so this is about the structure. Any doubts about structure? I don't think any doubt is there. Okay, sulfuric acid sp3 hybridization, tetrahedral, no lone pair, and d pi p pi bonds. Okay. Now for easiness, the properties of sulfuric acid are chemical properties. Okay, I'm not going to focus much into the topic which you need to just study. Okay, wherever some explanation is required, there only I'm going to concentrate. Okay, for easy making of the properties of sulfuric acid, I'm going to derive it. I am going to segregate it into the total 4 parts. How many parts? 4 parts. Okay, what are those 4 parts? Acidic properties, oxidizing properties, dehydrating properties, and some miscellaneous properties. Okay, so the total properties of the sulfuric acid we are going to study under how many headings? 4 headings we are going to study. Okay, they are acidic properties, oxidizing properties, dehydrating properties, and miscellaneous properties. Okay, so like this, if you start noting down, if you start making your own notes according to your own convenience, it is going to help you out during the revision. Okay, now first let us study about the acidic properties. First let us study about what? Acidic properties. Already we have seen in the structure. In the structure side we have seen there are two OH groups in the structure. So number of OH group will decide about the basicity. So two OH groups are there. The basicity of sulfuric acid is 2. That means it can provide 2 H plus. That's why it is also called as diprotic acid. Why this diprotic acid is it understood, students? It consists of two OH group, and two OH groups will provide you. Two OH groups will provide you 2H plus, hence it is called as a diprotic acid. What it is called as? Diprotic acid. Okay. So as soon as one H plus is replaced, then the type of salt it is going to form is called as bisulfate. What it is called as? Bisulfate. If both H plus are replaced by some metal, that salt obtained is called as sulfate. Okay, so let us take this into the equation form. I think now you are able to understand it clearly. Okay, now H2. Okay, H2SO4, if it loses only one H plus, okay, then the anion will be consisting of HSO4 minus. Anion will be consisting of HSO4 minus. Okay, so the salt in which anion is HSO4 minus, they are called as bisulfate. What sulfate? Bisulfate. And such type of salts are acidic salt also. Okay, they are what? Acidic salt, because there is something left over of the acidic property. Acidic property is still left over in the form of the hydrogen. That's why even though it have properties of salt, also some acidic properties are also left over. Some acidic properties also left over. Okay, so what then still it can lose HSO4 minus. HSO4 minus can lose one more H positive. Then salt resulting are called as sulfates. What they are called as? Sulfates. Okay, it is purely salt. There is no acidic nature. Okay, the sulfate salts does not contain any acidic nature. Even though it is salt, some acidic nature will be there. It is attributed to the hydrogen available in HSO4. Is it understood, students? So sulfuric acid is a diprotic acid and forms two series of salts. First salt is called as bisulfate, second salt is called as sulfate. Is it understood, students? Now we are going to study some examples. Okay, so let us take Ca, otherwise simple Na. Okay, NaOH and H2SO4. H2SO4. Okay, so first I'm thinking about the only one H plus is replaced. One OH from the sodium hydroxide, one H from the NaOH will be combined together to form NaHSO4 plus H2O. This is an example of acidic salt. It is an example of acidic salt. Salt is because of the sodium and sulfate, and acidic nature is because of the hydrogen. Okay, still it can act as a acid, so it can react with this is called bisulfate salt. Okay, this salt when NaHSO4 when further react with NaOH, then it will form Na2SO4 plus H2O. Na2SO4 plus H2O. Is it understood? So this is the sulfate salt, this is bisulfate salt. This is sulfate salt and this is bisulfate salt. Sulfate and bisulfate salts, is it understood, students? Okay, this is about the two example of the two series of salt formed by the sulfuric acid. Okay, so as I told you, it is a diprotic acid. It's it contains two dissociation constant. Okay, Ka1 for HSO4 minus and Ka2 HSO4 SO4 2 minus. Ka1 is very higher than the Ka2. Ka1 is very higher than the Ka2. Okay, always it is possible with every polyprotic acid. Okay, always Ka1 will be, it is nearly 10. Okay, how much it is? It is nearly 10. It is nearly 10 to the power of -2. Value wise, you need not to remember. It is a general. But then when they wanted to combine two topics together, like these questions may arise. Okay, questions may arise. Is it understood up to the, okay? Now sulfuric acid can also be used to check the presence of carbonates and bicarbonate. Okay, a given salt is carbonate or bicarbonate. It is checked by just adding a sulfuric acid. If it evolves carbon dioxide effervescence, then it shows that CO2 is present. First property, acidic property, already we have studied. What is that property? It will provide two series of salts, bisulfate and sulfate. Okay, second point in that salt acidic property is salts like, okay, carbonate, carbonate and bicarbonate. Bicarbonate are identified, okay, identified by CO2 effervescence. Okay, if the given salt, suppose sodium carbonate is there, Na2CO3. Okay, when I add H2SO4, directly I am writing total steps together. Okay, so what it will do, it will form Na2SO4. This is unknown acid. We don't know what type of salt it is. Okay, it is unknown salt. Let us take. Okay, so to confirm the presence of carbonate group, we will add sulfuric acid to that. This is called as qualitative analysis. It is important only for the advanced and aims, not for the NEET, not for the mains. Okay, so this is not there in the main syllabus. Okay, so then it is going to provide H2O and CO2. So CO2 is liberated here. So effervescence of CO2, evolution of CO2 confirms the presence of carbonate group in the given unknown salt. Okay. Second use of acidic properties, it understood. Now third and most important. Okay. So when you prepare notes, try to write it with few stars. Okay. So most of the problematic with the inorganic is how to remember, and is there any logic or not. Most of the books don't give logic because they are not here to make you memorize. So if you know with the logic, then it is easy for you to understand. Okay, so everybody knows that metal plus suppose metal salt. Okay, then this is going to suppose metal M1, this is metal M2, otherwise M and M dash. Okay, so everybody know that M should, reactivity of M should be greater than M dash, then only this reaction is possible. Okay, that everybody know. But what about a salt with acid? Okay, suppose we have a salt and we have an acid. Okay, so is there any book or is there any place where you can identify? Just they will say you have to just remember. Okay, but there is a logic behind it, because the logic is not in the inorganic, logic is in the physical. Okay, in the physical side we know that during any reaction it is possible when there is a spontaneity reason is there. Okay, spontaneity here it is explained in terms of the entropy. Okay, so for better entropy, gas must be there. What should be there? Gas must be there on the right hand side. Okay, so that means right proper that entropy should increase, delta S should be positive. Okay, so that means more right side gases must be there. So gases nature I am explaining you with the volatility. Volatility I mentioned in the starting of the very beginning of this lecture. Sulfuric acid is less volatile. Okay, suppose if I am taking H2SO4. Okay, H2SO4 is less volatile. Okay, so when less volatile react with more volatile. Okay, here the salt is made up of how many things? Two things, acid and base. Okay, that but that more volatile acid. Okay, salt of, it should be salt of what? More volatile acid. Okay, So then reaction is possible, reaction is spontaneous. Okay, so if the opposite is there, that means more volatile, more volatile acid, okay, plus salt of less volatile, acid. Okay, this is salt and this is acid. So for a reaction to be possible, what you have to do? You have to do the salt volatility, acid from which it is manufactured should be more volatile salt. Okay, more volatile acid. So in this, no reaction. Okay, when the reaction will takes place, when no reaction takes place, is it understood? Now you need not to mug up the things. Okay, so a thing is said to be volatile, when bonds, intramolecular forces are weak, like organic acid. Suppose acetic acid is volatile acid. Okay, volatility you can compare with the types of bonds. Ionic nature is more, so then intramolecular forces will be strong and volatility will be less. Okay, why sulfuric acid is less volatile? Very good, because of the strong extensive intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay, now you need not to mark up the things, which reaction is possible, which reaction is not possible, and the reason behind this logic is there in which chapter? Thermodynamics chapter, in terms of the entropy. Here we are going to get acid, okay, which is more volatile. That is, as entropy increases means reaction is spontaneous. Okay, so this you can understand only when teacher understands the problem of the students. Okay, while teaching I faced that situation, that questions arise from the students. Then I thought it how to make it easy. Then I combined physical and inorganic. Okay, is it understood? So that is not you are going to get in the books or somewhere else. Okay, so while teaching, understanding the students' problem and making your next lecture to avoid the problem of students. Okay, so here let us take H2SO4. H2SO4, suppose CS3COONA. Is this possible or not? Okay, so here this is made up of what? Salt of organic acid. So more volatile. That means reaction is possible. If possible, simply replace it. Okay, so this will come along with this and this will go here. Okay, so then what it is going to form? CS3 COOH and Na2SO4. This is possible. Suppose if I take it in the other way, in which way? Let us take H2C2O4, okay, plus Na2SO4. Is it possible? No. Why not possible? Because sulfuric acid is a less volatile acid and oxalic acid is more volatile acid. More volatile acid cannot replace less volatile acid, but less volatile acid can replace more volatile acid. Okay. Now, okay, people started asking doubts or how to remember. Very simple. All organic acids are volatile. Okay, more volatile. All organic acids are more volatile. Is it understood, students? Then after that, let us take nitric acid. Okay, HCl. They are more volatile or less volatile? They are more volatile than the H2SO4 because there is no hydrogen bonding here. There are less hydrogen bonds are there. Okay, so how that is what I am explaining. Okay, nitric acid contains less number of hydrogen bonds. HCl does not have any hydrogen bonds. Sulfuric acid more hydrogen bonds. Okay, just in the previous starting lecture only, more hydrogen bonds, more viscous, less volatile. Okay, so less volatile. Here less hydrogen bond, no hydrogen bonds. That's why there is no chance of the volatility. Is it understood, students? Okay, so this is how you have to remember acidic properties. I think we have covered a lot. Okay, now coming to the other properties. Okay, oxidizing properties. Let us come back to the oxidizing properties. Okay, now again the problem is so many reaction, how to remember, sir? Okay, oxidizing properties. The problem with the Inorganic is remember. Okay, don't remember. Try to learn from the logic. Okay, oxidizing nature of the sulfuric acid is due to presence of nascent oxygen. Why it is nascent oxygen? H2SO4 on decomposition will give you H2O plus SO2 plus nascent oxygen. Okay, so this is the heart of the equation. If you know this equation, you can write the all other equation. Okay, this is responsible for oxidizing property. Okay, and one more series you should be knowing. Okay, one more series you should be knowing that H3PO4 oxidizing power less than the H2SO4. It is less than the HNO. The strong oxidizing agent is nitric acid. Second most strong H2SO4. Third most strong H3PO4. I think, but it is a topic of what? Ionic equilibrium. Okay, and redox reaction. Okay, so there we have studied already. If not studied, go through my ionic equilibrium lectures. There I have mentioned. Okay, now according to the oxidizing equation, this is one equation. In another way also you can write. Okay, two equations. That equations with this with that equation only you will be writing all oxidizing properties. Okay, so H2SO4, but somebody says that oxidizing agent means it should undergo reduction. It should undergo reduction and it should gain electron. Okay, so for them I am writing this equation. Okay, 2 moles of H2SO4 gives accepts 2 electrons, accepts 2 electrons to form H2O SO4 2 minus, then SO2. Okay, so here one sulfur, I am talking about this one sulfur, it is reduced from plus 6 to what? Plus 4. So it is undergoing reduction. Undergoing reduction will act as a oxidizing agent. Will act as a oxidizing agent. Is it understood, students? So sulfuric acid act as a oxidizing agent due to presence of nascent oxygen. In the first equation I told you, due to the presence of gaining of 2 electrons, due to gaining of how many electrons? 2 electrons in this equation. By this equation you will be able to write the equations very easily. Let us take P4. Okay, and H2SO4. What I have to write? Okay, simply what it will do, P4 will be oxidized. Okay, for this what I have to write? Nascent oxygen. Okay, and P4 requires first I will write in the stepwise, then you will be able to understand. Okay, when it is sufficiently provided with nascent oxygen, it is going to form P4O10. Okay, then on hydrolysis, if you are able to do the reaction in acidic medium, sorry, aqueous medium, then it is going to form phosphoric acid, H3PO4. Is it understood, students? So for this reaction, now we will combine the both the reaction. What is the sulfuric acid reaction? H2SO4 gives H2O plus SO2 plus nascent oxygen. Okay, now for here 10 oxygens are there, 10 oxygens here. Okay, 4 phosphorus are there. Now just multiply this total equation with 10. Okay, and add, then you will get the final equation. Is it understood? So if you know these two equations, all oxidizing properties can be written easily. I will tell you one more example also. Okay, let us take I2. Okay, I2 acid is HiO4. What actually first it will form? I2O5. Then it will form HiO4. What it is forming? Sorry, HiO3, iodic acid. Okay, so 5 oxygen. So for that, what you have to do? Multiply this equation by 5. Multiply by this equation by 5 and add. Then you will get the final answer. Like that you can identify the oxidizing properties with how many equations? 2 equations. Okay, in the inorganic the best way to learn is try to know the logic, learn less, use more. Okay, so like previous reactions with the on the basis of entropy, reaction is possible when entropy is increasing or not. Okay, then coming to the one more topic, that is Very good. What is the third topic I told you? Dehydrating properties. Okay. Sulfuric acid. Total how many properties I told you? Four properties. Sulfuric acid shows properties in four ways. Okay. Sulfuric acid first is dibasic acid, acidic property we have studied where volatile and more less volatile, more volatile. Second, oxidizing properties we have studied in terms of the nascent oxygen, in terms of the electronic equation. Both way you can use as per your convenience, as per your convenience. Like see, suppose copper, okay, less reactive metal. Simply what you will write here, copper require 2 electrons. Okay, so sorry, copper loses 2 electrons. I will tell you how to club this equation. This equation already I told you, so I will tell you how to club this equation. Okay, Cu gives Cu2 positive plus 2 electron. Okay, now I will combine this H2SO4. Okay, plus 2 electrons gives H2O plus SO4 2 minus plus SO2. Okay, so 2 moles. Electron will get cancelled. 2 H2SO4 plus Cu will give you Cu plus SO4 together. CuSO4 plus H2O plus SO2. That's all. So these two equations, if you remember, easy to understand. Okay. Now dehydrating properties. Question will be there. What are the dehydrating properties? It can remove the water. There also I will tell you techniques. Suppose glucose C6H12O6. Okay. People write like this and get confused. But being a smart student, you should write like this: C6H2O6. So then what will be the answer? Dehydrating agent means loss of water. So it will be 6C. Okay, this is the reaction of the sulfuric acid, reaction of sulfuric acid with glucose. Glucose, fructose, sucrose. Sucrose is C12H22O11. What you will write? H2O11. Okay, so what will be the answer? 12C minus 11H2O. That's all. Okay, now let us take oxalic acid, COOH. Okay, so one water molecule will be lost here. So what will be the product? CO2 plus CO plus H2O. What is the reagents? Concentrated sulfuric acid. Dehydrating properties understood, and miscellaneous properties. Okay, miscellaneous properties are very important thing is PCl5. Okay, PCl5 what it do is it want that in the structure PCl5. So these two chlorines are very, very weak because of the axial bonds. What it will do because of the axial bonds, it will try to exchange with OH. Okay, it will try to exchange with OH. These OH will come out, these OH will be replaced. Then this oxygen will be kept along with the phosphorus. Then it is going to form POCl3. Okay, then SO2 and Cl2. SO2Cl2. SO2Cl2, then remaining HCl. This hydrogen and this two hydrogen and this chlorine will be HCl. Okay, so this is how miscellaneous reaction. Okay, is it understood, students? I think all topics are covered in a better way. Okay,